అందరికీ నమస్కారములు. సర్వేభ్యో నమస్కారः. నమో నమః. గురుభ్యో నమః. Today is the fourth day of our classes on Bhagawadgita. Let us start this session with paying our respects to our country by reciting Vande Mataram by Challa Chittibabu garu. Let us request Challa Chittibabu garu to recite Vande Mataram, please.
वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम सुजलाम सुफलाम मलयज शीतलाम सस्य श्यामलाम मातरम वंदे मातरम शुभ्रज्योत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनीं पुल्लकुसुमिता द्रुमदलशोभिनीं सुहासिनीं सुमधुरभाषिणीं सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरम् वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम
Vande Mataram, Challa Chittibabu garu. Get well soon. Now, let us request Srinivas garu to chant Pradhana, please.
Sri Guru Dhanava. Sir, 1 minute meditation, 3 times Omkaram. Now Omkaram. ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ओम श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। ओम प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनाम वित्र्यवतु। ओम श्री महासरस्वत्यै नमः। गुरुरेव गतिः गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे। न गुरो परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरो मतिरस्ति गुरौ मां पाहि गुरौ। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। मातृदेवो भव पितृदेवो भव आचार्य देवो भव अतिथि देवो भव। Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha.
Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. ధన్యవాదములండి శ్రీనివాస్ గారు.
Parameshwar.
Thank you so much. Now let us start the session. Request our Guruji Prabhu Garu to start the webinar, please.
Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsarishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhya. Well, friends, we have seen how the Karma Yoga was postulated very explicitly and clearly and without any doubts in the chapter 2 and chapter 3 and chapter 4, including Jnana, Karma together. So a Jnani has to perform Karma. He cannot refrain from Karma completely. So whatever he performs, he can perform without attachment to the result, with full dedication to the quality of the Karma itself. So that way he can escape from Karma Bandhana. At the same time, he should strive for the Loka Sangraha, for the benefit of the society at large. So it is a model of conduct for all of us. How and why we should do many activities. In fact, in the Gita Mahachyam, there is a statement, Gitardham jhayate nityam krutva karmani bhurishaha jivan mukta savijneyo dehante paramampad. So while remembering the meaning of Gita, not only remembering, pondering over, contemplating, Gitardham dhyayate, meditating on the meaning of the Gita, you perform all your activities. Gitardham jhayate nityam, always. Krutva karmani bhurishaha, all maximal activities. Not asking you to stop and sit in a cave in a forest or mountain. I went to ice caves in Himalayas also, but I had to come out within few minutes. So he is asking you to act. But while meditating on the meaning of the Bhagavad Gita statements, Gitardham jhayate nityam, always, without stop. Krutva karmani bhurishaha, in a big way, maximally. Such a person, like all of us should be like that. That is a purpose and objective of this course and these lectures. Jivan Muktaha, you will be becoming a Jivan Mukta. You will be liberated when you are alive. That is the power of Gita. Jivan Mukta Savijneyo Dehante Paramam Padam. And you will reach Parama Padam at the Dehanta. Why that kind of highest benefit is coming? Because Gita is having that power. That power is coming out of the Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, which is what we are going to study today, the 5th chapter, how Jnana and Karma Sannyasa are together, and then the 6th chapter, how that meditation process will be achieved. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Panchamodhyaya Sannyasam Karmanam Krishna Punaryogam cha Shamsasi Yechreya Etayorekam Tanme Bruhi Sunischitam. Oh Krishna, on one side you are telling that sannyasa is greatest, karma sannyasa, sannyasam karmanam, sannyasa renunciation of karma. And again you are telling punaha, yogam cha shamshasi, you are ordering me to perform yoga. That is karma yoga. Echveya etayorekam, which is the best among the two? Tanme bruhi sunishcha. You don't confuse me any further. You tell me specifically whether I should take sannyasa or I should practice yoga. I'm sure all of us will have this doubt. All of us must have faced situations where sannyasa was an option. I faced that situation, but my mother rejected that option. So the answer is sannyasa karma yogascha nishreyasa karavubhau tayostu karma sannyasat karma yogo visishyate. Among the two, sannyasa and karma yoga is greater, better, visishyate, special. Both are capable of giving moksha, nishreyas. Sannyasa karma yogascha nishreyasa karavubhau tayostu karma sannyasat karma yogo visishyate. Nyeyasa nitya sannyasi yona dveshthina kankshati nirdvando hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. Realize that such a person is called sannyasi, nitya sannyasi, permanently, eternally, always sannyasi, who doesn't desire anything whatsoever and does not hate anything. He will take things as they come. Yona dveshthina kankshati nirdvando hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. He will be liberated from the bondage of pleasure. Sankhya yoga pradhak bala pravadanti na panditaha ekamapyasthita samyak ubhayor vindate phalam. Only bala, that means stupid people, innocent people. Bala refers to innocence. Innocent people who have no deep knowledge, they will think Sankhya, that is jnana, and yoga are two different things. Not the pandita, not the knowledgeable people. Ekamapyasthita samyak ubhayor vindate phalam. Both will reach the same results. Whichever one you take, samyak, asthitaha, he who practices in a perfect manner. Virodho yukto natu bhayo nishreyasakaratvam meveti praptamidam uchyate sankhya yoga viti. Sankhya yoga prudhak viruddha bhinna phalau balaha pravadanti na panditaha. Panditastu jnaninaha ekam phalam aviruddham icchanti. Katham ekamapi sankhya yogayo samyaga sthitaha samyag anushthitanan ityarthaha. Ubhayor vindate phalam ubhayo tad ekena hi nishreyasa phalamato na phale virodhosti. Though they are different in the approach, the goal or the target or the objective or the result, fruit is the same, one and the same. Nanu sannyasa karma yoga shabdena prastutya sankhya yogayoho phalaikatvam kathamiha aprakritam breviti naiva doshaha yadyaval Arjunena sannyasam karma yogancha kevalam abhipraycha prashnakruto bhagavanstu tad aparityagena eva swabhiprayatancha vishesham samyojya shabdantaravachyataya prativachanam dadau sankhya yoga viti taveva sannyasa karma yogo. That is sannyasa and karma yoga. There different is what Arjuna is thinking because he is innocent. He doesn't have adequate jnana. Jnana tadupaya samabuddhitva samyukto. Jnana tadupaya samabuddhitva samyukto. Sankhya yoga shabdo avachaviti bhagavato matam mato na prakrita prakriti. Ekamapyasthita ekasya samyak anushthanat. If you follow any one of them, ubhayo phalamindati ityuchyate. Ekamapyasthita samyak ubhayor vindate phalam. Yat sankhya jnananishthai sannyasibhihi yat sankhya prapyate sthanam. That means jnana nisthai sannyasibhihi prapyate sthanam. whatever about target destination is reached, that is mokshakhyam, called moksha, by the sannyasis, by the jnanis, by Swamijis and so on. Tad yogairapi jnana praptyupaya tvena ishvare samarpya. The same thing can be achieved by performing surrender to Ishvara. Karmanyatmanah phalam anabhisandhaya anutishtanti. So, because the karma phalas are not getting attached to the actor or doer. Ete yoga yoginah, such yogis, tairapi, they also paramartha jnana sannyasa praptidvarena gamyata ityabhiprayah. अतः सा एकं सांख्यं च योगं च यः पश्यति फलैकत्वात् स पश्यति सम्यक् पश्यति इत्यर्थः. So a person who can realize the equality, the oneness of Sankhya and Yoga, that is Jnana and Yoga, is having the correct understanding. Yat Sankhya prapyate sthanam tad yogairapi gamyate ekam Sankhyam cha yogam cha ya pashyati sapashyati sanyasastu mahabahu dukkhamaptu amayogatah dukkhamaptum ayogatah yoga yukto munihi brahmana chirena adhigacchati. A sannyasi or sannyasa without yoga, it will end up in a crash into misery. Yoga yukto munihi, a person, a muni who is yoga yukta, who is fully involved deeply into yoga. Brahman achirena adhigacchati, he will reach Brahman very fast. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma, vijitatma, jitendriya. A yoga yuktaha, that is a person who is into yoga deeply, is pure self. Vishuddhatma, vijitatma, he has conquered himself. Jitendriya, he has conquered all the senses. Sarva bhutatma bhutatma, he realizes himself to be the one self of all beings. Sarva bhutatma bhutatma, purvannapi nalipyate. Even though he performs various karmas, he is not touched. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manye tattvavid pranapan pasyan srunvan sujan jigran nashvan gachan swapan shwas. Though he is seeing, smelling, walking, listening, tasting, going, sleeping, coming, though he is doing all the activities, naiva kinchit karomi, I am not doing anything. Yukto manye, he will think like that, tattvavit, because he is a tattvavit. Pralapan, Visrujan, Grunhan, Unmishan, Nimishan napi. His eyelids are going up and down. He speaks or he talks or he may even create. Pralapan, Visrujan, Grunhan, Unmishan, Nimishan napi. Indriyan, Indriyardheshu vartanta iti dharayan. So he will think the Indriyas are acting in Indriyardhe. I am not concerned. So in this context, I'll quote two examples. One is Prahlada. Paniyam buludraguchun kuduchuchun hasalila nidraduluzeyuchun vashim puchun. Santata Sri Narayana Pada Padma Yugali Chintamrtapana Visesha Matta Chitta. They Marachan Surarisutudeta Vishwamundhuvara. Srimad Bhagavad Purana explains the state of Prahlada. Though he is a king and he is performing all actions as if he is a normal king. Paniyam boludraguchun, kuduchuchun, eating, drinking water, etc., etc. Bhashim puchun, doing talking and is deliberating into the affairs of the state while doing all this, but his heart is somewhere else. Santata Sri Narayana Pada Padma Yugali Chintamrtapana Visesha Matta Chittudai Marachan Surarisutudeta Divishvam. While doing all this, because he was so deeply absorbed into the Pada Padmas of Lord Narayana, so deeply, he is one of the greatest bhaktas, Mahabhakta. He forgot this world in the process of absorption into the devotion, Santata, non-stop, Sri Narayana Pada Padma Yugali Chinta Amrita Apana Vishesha Matta Chitta. That was his state of mind. So he forgot this world. And another case is Jada Bharata. Jada Bharata is Bharata Muni, who took to tapasya after renouncing the kingdom, the king, and he became Bharata Muni. Then he was doing tapasya in front of a river in solitude. So one day, one deer came and delivered a child deer and died. So out of compassion, he started adopting that child deer and growing it to its adulthood. So in the process, he became attached to the deer so much that when he died, he was born as a deer. But he remembered what happened last time, that he didn't want to wait, trapped once again. So he died as deer and was born as a human being. They called Jada Bharata. Jada, that means he is like a madman, like a donkey. He used to sit in one place doing nothing. But he knew, he remembered what all happened. So he wanted to be extra careful this time, not to get attached to anything. Because, Shuka Maharshi will not stay at any place more than a few minutes. The time taken to pull out milk from a cow. He will just move away from there very soon. Because he thinks if he stays there for a longer time, he will be getting attachment to that place or to the people there. He doesn't want to get attachment. You know why? You're getting attachment, you will be bound. And you may be even born there once again. So this Jadabarta wanted to, yes, burnt his fingers twice. So he wanted to be very careful. So he was unattached, uninterested, disinterested from in everything. He was simply sitting in one corner doing nothing. So people did not understand who he was. They thought he is a good for nothing fellow who can be employed in labor. So he was taken as a labor to carry one palanquin of one king. The king of the place, he was going to his guru in the palanquin. And then this fellow was one of the four laborers lifting that. But he was not doing a good job. Sometimes it was bending. So king shouted, "Who are you and what is happening?" So the answer he gave was, there is one body and the body has one shoulder. On the shoulder, there is one palanquin wood piece and it is paining. So he is shifting. He talked as if in third person about himself. Then the king got surprised. He got down and touched his feet and, "Who are you and why? What are you telling? I am going to receive the spiritual instruction to my guru. You yourself can give." So he had no awareness of his attachment to the body. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalaik indriyairapi yoginah karma kurvanti sangam chaktva atma shuddhaye. All actions are to be performed without attachment. Brahmanyadhaya karmani. Dedicate all your actions into the Supreme Being, God, Ishvara, Krishna, whatever name you give. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam chakva karoti yaha lipyatena sa papena padma patramivambhasa. Just like water on the lotus leaf will not get moist, the lotus leaf will not get moist, even though drops of water are moving like mercury on it. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalairindriyairapi yogina karma kurvanti sangam chaktva atma shuddhaya. Then why are they performing all actions? On one side, you say they are not interested, yogis are detached. But the other side, you are saying they are performing all karmas very perfectly. Why are they doing it? Why should they do it? The answer is Atma Shuddhaye, for purification. So you perform service, you perform Karseva or service, volunteering, volunteer work, or social service in any form for your own purification purpose. And social service includes teaching or curing, that is medical practice. Or in fact, I would go to the extent of saying this is a service-oriented approach as a part of our Dharma Yoga, Karma Yoga. That means whatever you are doing, you do it as a service. In fact, that is a reality. In society, we have the need for services of all kinds, the medical services, education services, legal services, production services. That means production of goods and products and services of all kinds, banking service, so on and so forth. So all these are services for the society. So service-oriented approach is what being talked about. Yogina karma kurvanti sangam chaktva atma shuddhaye yukta karma phalam chaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim ayukta karma karena phale sakto nibadhyate. A yukta, a yogi, will be liberated by giving up the attachment to the result, not to the action. If you give up attachment to the action, then you'll never perform the action. You perform the action with full dedication and commitment and discipline and efficiency and skill. But you give up the obsession, attachment to the result. Yukta karma phalam chaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim. With the nishtha, he gets the peace. Ayukta kama karena phale sattvo nibadhyate. A non-yogi, because of his desires, kama karena, phalo sattvo nibadhyate. He will be obsessed with result and he will become attached, and his bond, karma bandha, will bind him up. He will be born again and to suffer. And even when he is alive, he will be made to suffer. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vashi. A person who wants to be happy, he can give up mentally all actions. In fact, sannyasa is mental sannyasa is better, because physical sannyasa may not be feasible today, especially because you don't have any monasteries where you go and stay and get your food and shelter and clothing and medical support. And that's what Ramakrishna Mission provides to its own sannyas, its own swamis. It's very, very difficult to be one of them. You will not get admission also. So you sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vasi. A person who wants to have complete sukham in his own control, sukham vasi, sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste. Mentally he renunciates everything. And this is valid for all of us. Navadvare pure dehi, because actually in this city of 9 holes, 9 gates, the self does not do anything. Navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvan nakarayan. It doesn't perform any actions. It doesn't enable performance of any other actions. Na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya srijati Prabhu. The Lord has not created this life for having ownership of actions. Na karma phala samyogancha svabhavastu pravartate. It is not compulsory that you should have karma phala samyoga or attachment to the result. It is not necessary to have attachment, but we are still having attachment due to nature, forces of nature. Nadatte kasyachit papam nasheva sukrutam vibhuhu ajnane vratum jnanam. Why it is happening? Due to ignorance. Because jnana is covered by ajnana. Ajnanena vratam jnanam tena mukyanti jantavaha. Jnanena tu dadajnanam yesham nashitunatmanaha. Teshamaditya vajnanam prakashayati tatparam. So those who have acquired jnana, their ajnana is vanished, because when light is there, there is no darkness. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya. Asatoma sadgamaya. Mrichorma Amrutangam. Amruta is Jnanasthiti, Mruta is Ajnanasthiti. Tadbuddhayas tadatmanas tannishta tatparayana gachanti apunaravrittim. Tadbuddhayaha, what does it mean? Yat param jnanam prakashitam tadbuddhaya iti. When the supreme jnana is glowing like sun, tasmin brahmani gata buddhihi yesham te tadbuddhayaha tadatmanaha tadeva param brahma atma yesham te tadatmanaha. Those who are realizing themselves to be equal and one merged with Parabrahman, tada atmanaha, tannishta, nishtha bhinivesh tatparyam sarvani karmani sanyasya, tasmin brahmanye vavasthanam yesham te tannishta tatparayanaascha, tadeva param paragatir yesham bhavati te tatparayana. केवल आत्मरतयः इत्यर्थः येषां ज्ञानेन नाशितम् आत्मनो अज्ञानं ते गच्छन्ति एवं विधा अपुनर्देह सम्बन्धं ज्ञाननिर्धूतकल्मषा. They will be reaching the state of moksha, will not come back to be born again. अपुनर्देह सम्बन्धं ज्ञाननिर्धूतकल्मषा यथोक्तेन ज्ञानेन निर्धूतो नाशितः कल्मषः. Their sins are washed away by jnana. Papadi samsara karano dosho yeshamte, because the karana of samsara, the birth and death and again birth, is only your sins committed. If you have not committed any sins whatsoever, you will not be born at all. The fact that you are born shows that you committed sins in your previous lives. Of course, it is also said that, when sins, the papa and punya are equal, you will be born as a human being. If your papas are more, you will be born as an animal. If your punyas are more, you will be in this Vargaloka or higher lokas until the punya reduces. Elsewhere, he told that clearly, Kshine punye marchalokam vishanti. And the punya reduces gradually and becomes equal to papa suddenly. Here is papa and here is punya. You have a very great punyatma. Gradually, your punya is decreasing. You are finished consuming it, because in the other higher lokas, you cannot create new punya. You can only consume, exhaust the existing punya. And when the punya reaches the equal level of papa, after having finished 50% in the naraka, then you suddenly born as a human being. Kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. So gachanti apunaravrittim. What is that apunaravrittim? Brahma bhuvana loka punaravrittino Arjuna. Even if you go to Brahmaloka, you may come back. But if you reach Vaikuntha, you will never come back. Mamupechatu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini. Shunichaiva shvapake cha pandita samadarshinaha. Panditas, jnanis will be equanimous. They'll have equanimous view on a brahmana or a chandala or a dog. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavi hastini, or an elephant. Shuni chaiva shvapake cha pandita samadarshinaha. They will be equanimous. Ihaiva tairjita sargo yesham samye sthitam manaha. Nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmani te sthita. They are established in Brahman. Yasman nirdosham samam brahma atma tasmat na prahrishyaditi. Na prahrishyet priyam prapya no dvijet prapya cha priyam sthira buddhira sammudho. Don't react in an exhilarating manner when you have pleasures coming upon him, and don't react in a depressive, sorrowful manner when you have not pleasure but pain coming onto you. You should be sthira buddhi, sthita prajna, asammodhaha, brahmavit, brahmani sthitaha. So, brahmavit, brahmaya bhavati. A brahmavit, a person who knows Brahman, who is always established in Brahman. Bahya sparseshva saktatma, vindatyatmaniyat sukham. Sa brahma yoga yuktatma, sukham akshayam asrute. An introvert who is not going to run after the objects of senses for pleasure, he is running into himself, going into yourself. Bahyasparshvas asaktatma vindat atmaniyat sukham. That happiness, that peace, happiness out of peace, satisfaction, contentment. total contentment, Nindu Kunda, full pot of water, doesn't shake, doesn't get disturbed. If you can reach that state, that is a Brahma Yoga Yuktatma. Sthir Sukham Akshayam Asnuti. He will reach permanent happiness. Yehi samsparsh pajabho. Why? Because the bhogas which are outside, which are born out of sensory stimulus, samsparshaja bhoga, dukkha yonaya evate, adyantavantah kaunteya. They have sorrow in their yoni, in their origin. All the pleasures outside you, they are having a dimension of sorrow also. You know what I mean? If you indulge in pleasures, whether it is sex or whether it is taste or whether it is any other pleasure, it will turn into misery sooner or later. Ajyantavantaha. They have beginning and end. Kaunteya nateshu ramate budhaha. Budhaha means a jnani will not be amused too much into the pleasures which are coming out of contacts of senses with their objects. Shaknoti hayvayas sodhum prak sharira vimokshanat kamakrodhodbhavam vegam sayuktasya sukhi naraha. Before death, if you can conquer your speed of running behind pleasures and your speed of getting anger and so on. Shaknoti hayvayas sodhum prak sharira samo mokshanat kamakrodhodbhavam vegam. Speed born out of kama and krodha. Sayuktaha, then you are a yogi. Sasukhi naraha, you are a happy man. Yo antasukho, because he is reaching antasukha. Yo antasukho, antararama sada antarjyotirevayaha. He who is seeing jyoti inside him, not outside. Sayogi, he is yogi. Brahma nirvanam, Brahma bhuto adhigacchati. He will reach Brahma nirvana. The word nirvana is used in Buddhism, but here Brahma nirvana is equivalent of it. Labhante Brahma nirvanam rishaya kshina kalmasha. Rishis will achieve Brahma nirvana by overcoming miseries, by overcoming sins, because they are purified through jnana. Rishis, Chinnadvaidha, they have conquered dualities. Yatatmanaha, they are self-controlled. So finally, it is all boiling down to self-control and journey into yourself, reaching the supreme knowledge, light within yourself. And such a person, Sarva Bhuta Hite Rata, such rishis, rishayaha, Kshina Kalmasha, Sarva Bhuta Hite Rata, they will be interested in the welfare of all beings, not sectarian. Kama Krodha Vyuktanam Yatinam Yatachetasam, Abhito Brahma Nirvana Vartate Vidya. Brahma Nirvana will come to those yatis, that is the controlled people, Yatachetasam, who have controlled their mind fully in their control. Manasu Swadhinamaina A Ghanuniki, Mari Mantra Tantra Mulela. There is a Tyagaraja Kruti on this. A Ghana, the great man who has conquered his mind completely, his thoughts, his emotions, his feelings, his reactions, his responses, all are in his full control. Such a person doesn't require any more sadhana of mantra and tantra. Kama Krodha Vyuktanam, they don't have Kama and Krodha. Yatinam Yatachetasam, Abhito Brahma Nirvanam Vartate, they will reach Brahma Nirvana Viditatmanam due to self-realization. It is all these are instructions to us. Sparshan Kritva Bahidbahyam Chakshushvevantare Bhro Pranapano Samayukto Nasabhyantara Charano Yatendriya Mano Buddhir Munir Moksha Parayanaha Vigate Echa Bhayakrodhoya Sada Muktayeva. He's talking of an introversial yogic samadhi type of state. Sparshan Kritva Bahidbahyam Chakshushvevindriya Antare Bhruvo. The bhru is going, the eyes go towards this Shambhavi Mudra. Automatically that comes in Kevala Kumbhaka in Hariya Yoga path. Pranapano Samokriti has referred to pranayama through pranayama, reaching that state of samadhi or path towards samadhi or intermediate stages of samadhi. Nasabhyantaracharino. Clearly, he is referring to pranayama. Yatendriya mano buddhi munir moksha parayanaha. So that way, this is yoga only. Yatendriya mano buddhi munir moksha parayanaha. Muni, who is committed completely to moksha, vigatecha bhayakrodhaha, who has given up all desires and therefore anger and therefore fear. Desire, fear, anger. That is the sequence. If you have desires, the fear that the desires are not going to be fulfilled or the reaction to the desires not getting fulfilled will become anger. A person who has conquered all this is a liberated. He is always liberated. Such a person who has conquered his mind and he is introvert, he is into himself and he is not interested in external pleasures and he is not going to be victim to kama, krodha and bhaya. Vigata ichha bhaya krodha. Yes, sada. Such a person is always liberated. What is the test of a person whether he is liberated or not? This is a basic categorization. Even in Yoga Vasishtha, one great person was told that a person like Rama is only one question he asked: is he liberated or is he in bondage? Because the whole world you can classify into two categories: those who are liberated and those who are in bondage. 99.99% are in bondage only. Very few are liberated. So Rama was considered as liberated soul, right when he was a young man through Yoga Vasishtha. So that's why he was classified under Mukta category. So here, Vigadecha Bhayakrodha Sada Mukta Eva Saha. So backward and forward like that, liberated and unliberated. That is the classification. Bhoktaram Yajnatabasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhrudam Mam Sarvabhutanam Jnatva Shanti Mruchati. Suhrudam, friend. Realizing me, a friendly me, that means Supreme Being in all beings, Sarva Bhutanam, Suhrudam, Jnatva, Bhoktaram, Yajna Tapasam, who is the final goal of Yajna and Tapasya, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, the Supreme Lord of the whole universe. That is me, that is Krishna himself. Normally it is Vishnu who took Krishna Avatara, but some people upgrade Krishna to Vishnu level and say Krishna himself. That is fine. Both are same. So Suhrudam Sarvabhutanam Jnatva Mam Shanti. Even such a person will reach peace. Now we go to the 6th chapter. So he has given the whole process of spiritual yoga to go into yourself and reach peace by the enlightenment of the Supreme Being, the contact with. So that is being explained in a different way in the form of Atma Samyama Yoga, 6th chapter. Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yah sa sannyasi cha yogi cha niragnirna chakriyaha. So who is a sannyasi? Who has given up the attachment to the result. Anashrita karma phalam. Not karma, but karma phalam. Karyam karma karoti yaha sa sannyasi. He is sannyasi and he is yogi. Niragnirna chakrihayam sanyasamiti prahur yogam tam vidhi pandava. Those who call it sannyasa, please realize, O Arjuna, that sannyasa is nothing but yoga. Why? Because na hyasanyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschana. Without renunciating the sankalpas, desires and thoughts, nobody can become a yogi. That means all yogis are sannyasis. Nahi asanyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschana. Nobody can become a yogi without renouncing the desires and thoughts. Because the whole process of yoga is to give up your thoughts and desires. Arurukshor muner yogam karma karanam uchyate. Yogarudhasya tasyeva shamak karanam uchyate. So yogam, that is dhyana yoga, Aruruksho Munehe, a karmaphala sannyasi, karma, that is Nishkama Karma Anushtana, becomes Karana. Whereas Yoga Rodha, for a Yoga Rodha, for a person who is established in Dhyana Yoga, Tasyaiva, that same Nishkama Karma Anushtana, Shamaha Karanam. So for a meditative yogi, the Nishkama Karma becomes a cause of Shama, peace. So that means a yogi who is mostly in a dhyana yoga situation, when he is coming out of it, he will perform karma, which is nishkama karma, and it will give him happiness and peace. I met some people who serve the society all the time, 24 hours. I knew one person. He used to go after people who have problems. Ask, Hari, what problem you have? What problem you have? What problem you have? Then he will solve those problems. Somebody wants a job, somebody wants a house, somebody wants money, somebody wants knowledge, somebody wants moksha. He will try to solve his level best to those problems. So he is a karma yogi. I know that person, I knew that person is no more. He was like an ideal for others. So, and he used to tell me, I get peace. Why do I do all this? Because I get peace. I get happiness. Shamak karanam uchyate. This is what is being mentioned here. I have actually met people who have demonstrated this behavior in different slokas in Bhagawadgita. Yada hinendriyardheshu karmasvanusajyate sarvasankalpa sannyasi yogarudhastadochyate. In all the activities, as long as he is not getting entangled into the sensory objectives and enjoyments, indriyardheshu na karmasvanusajyate sarvasankalpa sannyasi, he has given up all sankalpas. Yoga Rudha is established in the state of yoga. Uddharedatmanatmanam natmanam avasadayedatmaiva hyatmano bandhuratmaiva ripuratmanaha. Now management principles are being discussed. You shall elevate yourself, not fall. It's very easy to fall. I'm sure you all experienced this fall. What happens in our house? The fights between husband and wife, the fights between father and son, the fights between brothers, the fight between boss and subordinate. All the turmoil which goes on in the outside world. You open the TV, you'll see all kinds of things happening. All these are fallen state. So you don't fall, you go up. Uddhared atmana atmanam. You elevate yourself, you lift yourself up. Atmanam avasadaye. Don't allow yourself to fall. I remember one incident when an ordinary banana seller told in Urdu to somebody who was getting very angry. क्या साहब कभी भी आपने होश मत खोना. Don't give up your own conscious control of things. Uddharedatmanatmanam natmanam avasadayedatmaiva hyatmano bandhuratmaiva ripuratmana. Don't lose control over yourself. Don't become so emotional that you lost yourself. You know, in American slang, he went mad. Means actually he became angry. He's so angry that he lost his control. So don't allow yourself to fall. You elevate yourself. You lift up yourself. Uddharet. Atmana atmanam. By yourself, you shall uplift yourself. Na atmanam avasadayed atmaiva hyatmano bandhuratmaiva ripuratmanaha. And if you say no, because of that person, say your enemy or your neighbor or your wife or your friend or your colleague or your boss or some ex-person, there is no such thing. You are your own friend and you are your own enemy. You are your own friend if you have conquered yourself. Bandhuratmatmanastasyenaatmaiva atmana jitaha anatmanastu shatrutve vartedatmaiva shatruvat. If you have not conquered yourself, you have fallen down and you are creating your enemies. Therefore, you are your own enemy when you fall down. Bandhuratmatmanastasyenaatmaiva atmana jitaha anatmanastu shatrutve vartedatmaiva shatruvat. Jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahitaha. A person who has conquered himself, he is established in its own self state. and is connected to the Paramatma. See, and therefore he is equanimous to Sitoshna Sukha Dukkeshu Tatha Mana Apamanayo Jnana Vijnana Truptatma. He is contented with Jnana and Vijnana. What is the difference between Jnana and Vijnana? In the traditional literature, Vijnana means Jnana put into action. Not the modern literature. Modern literature, Vijnana means science, not that way. Jnana, supreme knowledge, put into practice is called Vijnana. And Acharya is a person who charati. He implements the knowledge which he is instructing and which he has acquired previously. So Jnana Vijnana Truptatma, he is a contented person, fully contented due to Jnana and Vijnana, because he is putting into practice what he has learned. Kutastha Vijitendriyaha, he has conquered his senses. Yuktaha is called a yogi, Yuchyate yogi, Samalosthashmakancha, who is equanimous to gold and mud. Ramkrishna Paramsa was throwing gold coins, gold pieces, and mud pieces, both together equally into the water of Ganga in front of his. So, Samalosthashmakanchanaha. If you can reach that stage, then you are liberated. Suhrun Mitra Yudasina Madhyastha Dvesha Bandhu Sadhushva Vichapapeshu Samabuddhir Visishyate. He'll be equanimous to friends, enemies. Suhrun Mitra Ari. Ari is enemy. Mitra is a friend. Suhrut is a close friend. Suhrun Mitra Ari Udasina, a neutral person. Madhyastha, an mediator. Dvesha, an enemy, a person who hates you. Bandhushu, a person who is connected to you, related to you. If you are equanimous to all of them, equally good, because there is a secret in this. Upakarikin upakaramu viparitamu gaduseya vivarim panga apakarikin upakaramu vivarim apakarikin upakaramu nepamennaka seyuada ner parisumati. You will be doing favors to your friends who have done favors to you previously. That is common. But if you can do favors to your enemy who is actually done negative things to you, that is being smart. Because if you do a favor to your enemy, he will turn into your friend. So your number of friends will increase. Whereas if you do favors to your friends, the number of friends will remain same. So that is what he is telling here. Sadhushvapicha papeshu samabuddhir visishyate. If you can be as friendly to enemies and do favors to enemies and do favors to even sinners as much as to good people, then the sinners will turn to good people and enemies will turn into friends. Yogi yunjita satatamatmanam rahasi sthitaha ekaki yatachittatma nirashir aparigraha. So he has no desires, he has no possessions, and he is always yunjita. Yuj dhatu is to join. He is in a meditative state with the self. Satatam atmanam rahasi sthitaha. He is well established in himself. Sthita prajna. Ekaki yata chittatma. A yogi is also sthita prajna, is also a muni. And we'll see later in Gita that he is also a gunatita and he is also a mahabhakta, parabhakta. So, how he will perform yoga abhyasa? Shuchau deshe pratisthapya sthiram asanam atmana. The asana is being described. That's why Gita is known as Yoga Shastra. It is a Shastra of yoga. So today is supposed to be yoga session. Now I am explaining Gita, which is explaining yoga only. Shuchau deshe pratisthapya sthiram asanam atmanaha na atyuchritam na ati necham shailajina kushottaram. Tatraigagram manah krutva yata chittendriya kriyaha. Concentrating your mind there, having controlled your mind and senses. Upavishyasane yunjat yoga atma vishuddhaye. Practice yoga, that is meditation, for purification of the self. Atma vishuddhaye yunjat asane, sitting in the asana. How you should sit in the asana? Samam kaya shiro grivam. Kaya is body, shira is head, griva is neck. All the three in equal one single line, samam. This is fundamental, being sitting erect, without bending of any kind, without distortions or angles or any other deviations. Samam kaya siro grivam, dharayan achalam sthiraha, sampreksha nasikagram. Nasikagram means this one, bhrumatya, or this both are accepted. Like this, sampreksha, looking at that, swam disaschanavalokaya, look into yourself. That's what we are doing in our meditation. Observe your thoughts, Milton. Why? What does it mean? Looking into yourself, looking at the cinema inside you. That is the first step in our meditation. Prashantatma, how to meditate is explaining. That's why Gita is a Yoga Shastra. That's why Upanishad and Yoga Shastra. Brahma Vidya, of course. Prashantatma Vigatabhi, free from all fears, great peaceful self. Brahmachari Vrate Sthitaha, no sexual thoughts. Manas Samyamya, controlling the mind. Machittaha, your mind to be absorbed in me. Yuktaha asita matparaha, be dedicated and absorbed into me. Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi niyatamanasa. By practicing meditation like this again and again for a long time with controlled mind, so you'll reach peace. Shantim nirvana paramam, the highest transcendental peace, supreme peace of nirvana will be reached if you practice this meditation. And such a person will reach nirvana, nirvana paramam, the greatest supreme transcendental peace of nirvana. That is the objective of yoga. That is the objective of jnana, sannyasa, bhakti, everything. That is finally peace, because no other person can get peace. You may get money, you may get power, you may get so many things, but you will not get peace. Shantim nirvana paramam mat samstham. That is the abode of the Supreme, the Krishna's abode. Mat paramam, mat samstham, adhigachati. He will reach my abode. That is last. And beyond this, there is no rebirth. Natyasnatastu yogosti nachaikantamanasnataha nachati swapnashilasya jagratau naivacha Arjuna. So who can reach the state of yoga? Not a person who eats too much. If you eat too much, and we have discussed about mitahara in a big way, which is mentioned as one of the yamaniyamas in Hatha Yoga Pradipika, the other text which we have been studying. So mitahara, eating less, is a fundamental requirement. So a person who eats too much will never reach success in higher yoga. Natyasnatastu yogosti nachaikantamanasnataha. Neither a person who is indulging in fasting. Fasting is okay in naturopathy, not in yoga. Nachati swapnashilasya, not a person who sleeps too much. Jagrato naivacha Arjuna, not a person who is always awake, doesn't sleep. A lot of people cannot sleep. They cannot reach high state in yoga. You have to sleep well, not too much, but just adequate. Yuktahara viharasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapnavabodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. Yoga, which is dukkha, which can destroy your sorrows, will be achieved by a person who is balanced in food, in sleep, in activities. Too much activity will also lead in exhaustion. That is not acceptable in yoga. Yukta ahara viharascha, yukta cheshtascha karmasu. In all actions, being balanced, moderate, middle path, neither zero nor too much. Middle path. Yada viniyatam chittam atmanyevavatisthati. As and when the mind reverts back to yourself, into the self, nisprahas sarvakamebhyo, not interested in anything outside. Tada yukta ityuchyate. You will be called a yukta, that means yogi. A person who is performing yoga, practicing yoga, is called yukta and yogi. Both are equivalent. Yatha Deepo Nivatastho Nengate Sopama Smruta. Like a jyoti, without flickering, it is standing always straight. Jyoti. Like that, the mind is non-flickering, it's constant. Yatha Deepo Nivatastho Nengate Sopama Smruta. Yogino Yatachittasya. A yogi's mind is also in full control. Yunjato Yogamatmanaha. Yatra Uparamate Chittam, where the mind is going to take rest. Niruddham Yoga Sevaya, in the enjoyment of Yoga Sthiti. Yatra Cheva Atmana Atmanam Pasyan Atmani Tushyati. It is self-satisfying. Even the Sthita Prajna case also, he told the same thing. He is satisfied in himself. Atmana Atmanam. Yatra Cheva Atmana Atmanam Pasyan Atmani Tushyati. Sukhamatyantikam yat, that which is highest pleasure. What is highest pleasure? This state of yoga is highest pleasure. That buddhigrahyam, which is beyond sensory pleasures. Vettiyatra chaivayam sthitascarati tattvataha. By reaching which, he will not be disturbed, perturbed, or deviated from the tattva jnana. Yam labdhva chaparam labham manyate na adhikam tataha. Having acquired which, he will not find anything else more worthy to acquire than this. Nothing is left. Yasmin sthito nadukhena guruna api vicharjati. Just being established in which he will not be perturbed or disturbed by any sorrow, misery of any kind, any scale. Guruna api. Somebody dead or some great, vast, like you don't have a job or you're retired, you have no, all kinds of things happen. In my life, all kinds of things have happened. Extreme. Guru, that means heavy dukkhas. But he will not be disturbed or perturbed or moved. He remained like a rock. I've seen in my life many such things. Tam vidya, that state, realize that to be yoga. Dukkha samyoga viyoga, yoga sanyitam. Yoga is that which remove the samyoga of the dukkha. Dukkha samyoga viyoga. Viyoga means removing the conjunction. Removing the conjunction of dukkha. Sanischayena yoktavyo yogo anirvinna chetasa. That is yoga to be realized, to be achieved with a anirvinna chetasa. That is with a strong mind without vacillations. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman chakva sarvanaseshataha. What is that process of yoga? First, give up all desires and thoughts. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman chakva sarvan aseshataha. Because if you have desires, your thoughts will increase. If you have thoughts, you will have desires. Both are equivalent. So give up everything. Make the mind blank. Be in yourself. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman chakva sarvan aseshataha. Manasaive indriya gramam viniyamya samantataha. Control your senses with your mind. And shanai shanai ruparamet. Slowly calm down. Slowly, shanai shanai uparamet. Calm down your mind after controlling it through the buddhi. Vidya dhritigrihitaya, with your intellect, your discriminatory power, you control your mind and calm it down into yourself. Shanai shanai ruparamet buddhya dhritigrihitaya atma samstham manakritva. Keep the mind established yourself by bringing it back, by controlling it through your buddhi. Buddhi means the discriminatory power. Yato yato nischarati manas chanchalam asthiram. Your mind will be wandering here and there. Mala to karme fire, jeeb fire, mukumahi, manva to das disa fire, yah to sumiran nahi. So, mind which is wandering here and there, slowly control it. Yato yato nischarati manas chanchalam asthiram. Tatastato niyamya etad atmaiva vasham nayet prashantamanasam. If you have finished that, if you have acquired that state of prashantamanasam henam yoginam sukham uttamam, the happiness which such a yogi gets is the highest best. Upaiti Shantarajasam Brahma Bhutam. It is Brahmi Sthiti. Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partha. Naivam Prapya Vimukyati. In second chapter ending, he told, Asyam Antakalepi Brahma Nirvanam Nichati. That Brahmi Sthiti is referring to it. Shantarajasam Brahma Bhutam Akalmasham. Free from all sins, free from all impurities. Shantarajasam, light of peace. Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi niyatama vigata kalmashaha. A yogi who performs this kind of yoga abhyasa, yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha, having overcome all impurities and sins. Sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukhamashnudri. He will reach Brahma Samsparsha. He will reach divine contact. Then what happens? Sarva Bhutasthamaatmanam Sarva Bhutani Chatman. He sees himself in everything and everything in himself. Because he is God. He has become God. He is merged into God. He is no more a separate being. Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshinaha. Yo Mam Pashyati Sarvatra Sarvancha Mai Pashyati. Tasyaham na pranashyam sachamena pran. He who sees me, Paramatma, in all beings and himself, in all beings and all beings in himself, and all put together in God, in Paramatma, he is liberated. Sarva bhuta sthitam mam yo bhajat ekattvamastithah sarvadha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. He will exist in me, he will live in me. Atma, therefore, he sees everyone equal to himself. Atma upamyena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna sukham va yadiva dukkham sayogi paramo mataha. So this is the 6th chapter. Now, of course, Arjuna will ask questions. Yoyam yoga tvaya prokta samyena madhusudana etasyaham na pashyami chanchalatva sthitim sthiram sthit. Whatever you are told, oh Krishna, I am not able to do. I'm not able to achieve. I'm not able to control my mind because very difficult. Chanchalam himana Krishna pramadhi balavad drudham. The mind is very, very meandering and chanchalam, going on changing. I cannot control it. Tasyaham nigraham manye vayu riva sudushkrutam. It is as difficult as trying to control air in your fist. You cannot control air anywhere. You cannot control your mind. So the answer is Sri Bhagavan Vacha Asamshayam Mahabaho Manu Durnigraham Chalam. Yes, that is very correct, O Mahabaho. The mind cannot be controlled. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. The only possibility is practice. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. And second factor is vairagya. That means not having desires, distractions, running here and there. Asamyatatmana yogo dushprapaiti me matihi. A person who cannot control his mind can never reach yoga. So for the purpose of controlling mind only, we have pranayama and all other steps, asana and so on. Otherwise, directly it's not possible. Then another question Arjuna is asking, oh, such a difficult process. Ayati sradhayopeto yogat chalita manasaha aprapya yoga samsiddhim kam gatim krishna gacchati. Suppose a person who has started this process of yoga, real yoga, and in the whole life he tried, but he failed to achieve final goal. What will happen to him when he dies? Achinno bhaya vibrashta chinna brahmanasya apratishto mahabaho vimudho brahmana pati. Will you all be wasted like a broken glass or a broken mirror? Will it be of no use? Etan me samshayam Krishna chetumarhyasya seshataha. Tadasya samshayasya chetana hipapadite. Sri Bhagavan Vacha, the answer is Pardhanaiveha namutra vinashastasya vidyate. O Pardha, there is no loss or destruction to this effort. The Kalyanakrit kaschid durghatim tata gacchati. A person who did Kalyanakrit, that means good things in life, will not go waste. Prapya punyakrutan lokanushitva sashvati sama. Such a yoga bhrashta who has not reached the final moksha in this life, he will go to higher worlds, punya lokas, and he will stay there for a long time. After that, Shrinya Punye, Mathyalokam Vishanti. He will be born again, but not an ordinary birth. Shuchinam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Bhrashto Abhijaya. He will be born in the pure lineage, and Srimata means with radiance. Sri means radiance, greatness, Shobha. So he will be born only in such a family which is matching his background. Tatratam athava yogi nama vapikuleva. He may be born in the family of yogis themselves. Etadhi durlabhataram, which such a birth is very, very rare and very, very difficult to loke janma yadidrisham. Tatratam buddhi samyogam labhate paurvadehikam. In the new birth, he will get connected with his pursuits of the previous life. Paurvadehikam. Buddhi samyogam labhate paurvadehikam. Yatate tato bhuyas samsiddhau kurunandana. Purvabhyasena teneva hriyate avashkopi saha. Automatically, without his effort, he will go back to that state which he left incomplete in his previous life. Jijnasurapi yogasya, he will automatically be into the path of yoga. Shabda Brahmati Vartate. He will be following Shabda Brahmati Vartate. What is Shabda Brahma? Shabda Brahma means Veda, Sruti. He will transcend the Shabda Brahma also to reach Parabrahma. In the Mundaka Upanishad, that is Dve Vidya, Paravidya, Aparavidya, Shabda Brahma and Parabrahma, both are discussed. Veda is Shabda Brahma, Sruti. It declares, Shruti, Smriti also is Shabda Brahma. Bhagawadgita is a Smriti. Prayatnad yatamanastu yogi samshuddha kilbishaha. By such effort, purification of all sins, aneka janma samsiddha tato yati param gatim. In this process, when he repeats many, many lives, he will reach the highest about parangati. And such a person who has reached the highest tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi, such a yogi is greater than all tapasvis because they have not reached that stage as yet. Jnanibhyascha matodhika. Jnanibhyascha matodhika is superior to jnanis also because it is experiential jnana. What is the difference between jnana and yoga? Yoga is experiential. Jnana may or may not be experienced. It may be just conceptual. Karmibhyascha. Karmibhya, they do karma, they get results of karma. That's all, but they don't get moksha. Karmibhyascha adhiko yogi. Tasmad yogi bhava Arjuna. Therefore, Arjuna, you become a yogi. Therefore, friends, you all become yogis. Yoginam api sarvesham. Among all such yogis, madgatena cha antaratmana. He who dedicates himself to me inside himself. Shraddhavan bhajate yomam. He praises me. Such a person is the best. So yukta tamo mataha om tat sat iti Srimad Bhagawadgita su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Atma Samyama Yogo Nama Shashtodhyaya.
ధన్యవాదాలు ప్రభు గారు. Very involving. Again, it's a series of the 3 days going on still. Very nice. Any questions? People can raise the hand and then, yeah, Ravindra Pantul garu. Please, Ravindra Pantul garu.
గురుభ్యో నమః గురుగారు.
Go ahead.
భూతాత్మ అని 2 times రిపీట్ చేశారండి. దీంట్లో దాని యొక్క ఇంటర్నల్ మీనింగ్ కొంచెం ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తారు.
Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma. That is not repetition, it is an explanation. Sarva Bhutatma
Yes.
Bhutatma. That is the Atman which has a nature of being Sarva Bhuta Sthita. So there is one self which is Paramatma, which is in all bhutas. And this self, that is the self of the individual, the yogi, has evolved or reached or merged into that Paramatma. That means you become Paramatma. You are no more Jiva. So there is no Jiva, but only Paramatma. So that is called Vishnu, Narayana, Krishna, Shiva, so many names you can give, which is indescribable in words. It is pure self-consciousness, all-pervading consciousness. You are actually that only. So, but due to ignorance, you are thinking you are not that and you are Jiva, who has XYZ attributes, body, mind, name, designation, Aadhaar number, PAN number, etc. etc. It is illusion, due to Maya. So, if through the yoga abhyasa, which is highest of tapasyas, if you can overcome this false identification, your true nature of the Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma will be realized. That is what is the objective, and that is, once you reach that, you are in liberated state. For that purpose, you have to practice yoga. Okay. Next.
ధన్యవాదాలు.
Okay, धन्यवाद. Any other person? Raise your hand and then ask, because otherwise it will be crossed off. Yeah, Rameswara garu.
Mahodaya Namamsi. In fifth sloka of sixth chapter, he himself is his enemy, he himself is his friend. So I think there is one poem in Telugu, Sumati Satakam, Tanakopame Tanasetru, Tanasantame Tanakuracha, Tanasantosame Swargama, Tanadukama Narakam Tachamu Sumati. Is it applicable to this also, sir?
Partly, yes, but it's not exactly same. It's a different thing. See, there in Samati Satkam, he said your anger is your enemy.
Sir.
But here he is not saying that. He's saying you are your own enemy.
Because you are indulging in his own desires.
Not only desires, your anger will create your enemies.
Exactly.
So both are pointing to a similar thing, but there is something more deeper here than there. So because see, there are in two different levels you can interpret this statement. You are your own friend and you are your own enemy. You are your own friend if you have conquered yourself. You are your own enemy if you have not conquered yourself. What does it mean? If you have not conquered yourself, means what? You will be exposing your anger, your greed, your lust, your various negative emotions. Am I right or not? If you have not conquered yourself. So the moment you exhibit these negative emotions, you will create your own enemies.
In the present day management, these are all common.
Yes. So in fact, the management science given in the Bhagavad Gita is far superior to management science being taught in the institutions of management.
Exactly.
They told this to me when I gave lectures on all this. So the point is that the moment you conquer yourself, that means what? You are a Muni, you are a Sthita Prajna, you are a great yogi, you are in yourself, and you love everyone equal to yourself and equal to God. Sarva Bhuta Sthitam, you are like this. If you are able to do that, then everybody will accept you. You will be the leader. You will be your own friend. And this is one level of explanation. But inside, another level of explanation is, now who are these enemies or who are these friends? They are in your own mind. They are in your own mind. See, the world which you see, everything in the universe which you see is an impression in your own mind. Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nija antargatam pashyannatmani mayaya bahiriva udbhutam yadha, like in a dream, as if there is something outside, the dream appears. There is nothing outside, it is in yourself only. Correct? So even the waking state, the world which you see, everyone sees a different world. All the participants in the present course, though they are listening to the same topic, same shlokas, Bhagavad Gita, they see different things. Yes or no? So at a given time, all the living beings, an ant or an amoeba or a cat or a dog or a man, different people, different audience, different speak, they all actually are seeing different realities, so-called realities. Because those realities are within himself or herself. It is only appearing as if it is outside, like a dream appears as if it outside. So that is what another interpretation of this statement. Your enemy, your friend, everything is yourself only. It is in you only. Your God,
Sir.
everything is in you only. The self is ultimate because your mind is creating all this Maya. So yourself, that is another deeper level of interpretation of this. So if
Sir,
you have conquered yourself, then only in the self, your enemy is also yourself, your friend is also yourself. A dog is also yourself. Vijja Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shunichaiva Svapakecha Pandita Samadarshina. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Sir, this Yoga Bhashta, do we have any examples in our Puranas, sir?
Almost all the great people, they are told, they are in the previous life, he was so and so, he's born so and so. Do you remember? Every time they explain this. So, not only Yoga Bhrashtas, but common people also. Common people also, they are born again. They were previously something else, right? They died and they are born. In fact, in some societies, like in Sri Lanka, Buddhists and all, they will identify every fellow with his previous life, so and so fellow. And even in Hindu society, it happens sometimes. This fellow is that fellow only. He's a great grandfather or grandfather or somebody. So, and even in the case of these avatars and this, this Dalai Lama and all this. So they will say, okay, now this small boy in this so and so village is previously so and so. So bring him and make him Dalai Lama, like that they will do. Okay. In fact, in Buddhism, there is a mechanism of knowing your previous life very easily. So there is a meditation technique in pyramid spiritual society. They will teach you such a meditation that you know your previous life. And what more, if you remember, there is one sloka in the Smashanam, they make you chant. When somebody died recently, my cousin, brother-in-law died, and I went to there also, and his mother, when his mother died also, they told Purva Janma. That shows according to your Purva Janma karma, all the relatives of this Janma have come to you. Sati Putra Sutadayaha. Runanubandha Rupena Pati Sutra Sutadayaha. So when the Runabandham is completed, you have repaid your dues. Chutti ho gaya. That person goes away. Therefore, you wash off your hands by putting water. You wash off your hands. So there's nothing to be worried about it. So everything that happens in our life is based on our previous lives. Simple logic of karma, everything that happens in present life, common sense says it is connected to the previous actions in this life. Like yesterday's class and today's class, they are connected. So everything is connected in this life also, and therefore also previous life. So whatever happened, major events that happen, major relationships that happen in the present life are caused by the previous life, major events and major relationships.
Okay. There is one question in the chat box. Can we please continue this series until the Bhagavad Gita is complete? The continuity will be helpful.
The question is for
we
you.
can think of yoga 15-day session. We can think of a Bhagavad Gita session.
Yes,
Have it.
sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good idea.
This is from Sudhir Patarji.
Oh, great.
Okay.
I am proud.
And there is one more question. Is Swadharma is karma according to our nature, Swabhava? What are different types of karma?
No, see, just now we have discussed about birth, why birth comes, in what circumstances, and with what relationships, and what dues Runanubandha, right? Runas. So, Swadharma is the duty, your duty, which is related to your previous karma. You are born in that circumstance, right? Like now, I am giving these lectures. I am getting a lot of happiness. I am deriving tremendous amount of satisfaction and happiness by giving these lectures, and you are probably deriving tremendous amount of satisfaction and happiness by listening to these lectures. Now, this is the result of the previous. You have attended the first level course. So in the same way, and that is the result of your previous attending other lectures and other reading other books and attending other courses and so on. So that way the cause and effect chain, if you go back, so whatever situation in which you are placed today, which defines your swadharma, is obviously based on the past karma. The past karma is in this present life as well as in the previous lives. So karma muna puttu jantu, karma muna jachu. So whatever happens, the birth onwards, the birth itself, under what circumstances you are born. See, in my case, you will be surprised. I was driven to the wall when I was a small boy. When my father died and his dead body is in front of me. Any other person would have collapsed. But by then already Bhagavad Gita was acting so strongly inside me. Because at the age of 8 itself, I was taught Bhagavad Gita. At the age of 14, I faced this kind of crisis. But I remained stable. I didn't get perturbed or disturbed. So everything has a cause and effect. Whatever happens, happens due to past karma. And whatever you are doing now as your duty, your swadharma, your responsibility is also based on past karma. So that way it is connected.
Take up the rest of the, there are 2 more questions we'll take up after the Prarthana. Kindly, thank you. Babu garu.
Okay, let us close the session. Srinivas garu, please.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितो ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः अपुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अधनाः सधनाः सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतम् सत्यं वद धर्मं चर स्वाध्यायान् मा प्रमदः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु स्वस्ति.
Okay, ధన్యవాదములండి. Let's go for national anthem. Chala Chittibabu garu.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद जय हिंद
Jai Hind. Now go ahead.
Yeah, we continue with the question and answer session. Ravindra Pantra garu.
Gurugaru, this is a contribution to our previous Janma. This Nadipati or Nadi Shastra, they are telling about our previous Janmas.
Yeah.
If you permit me, I would like to explain something about this one, what's my experience.
Mhm.
So I went to a Nadi specialist and he explained me that in my previous Janma, I was very much interested in construction of temples and all those activities, and I did some mistakes during those activities. I had rebirth in this Janma, in this Brahmin community, like that he told me. Even in this Janma also, you may be more concentrate on development, the temple activities or devotional activities. He told me about 15 years back, sir. Now, the things are materializing that I am very much interested in the temple activities and other Adhyatmika activities. Just to share my opinion, this one, sir.
Yeah, I know the Nadi people. They're very extraordinary. And some of them may be fake, but some of them are genuine. If you are lucky to get the genuine person, they will tell everything correctly.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir, there is one person called Peter Isaac in Mehedipatnam, sir. He charges about 3,000 rupees and he tells us what was our previous birth.
Peter
When
Isaac.
No.
Peter Isaac, yes, sir. His name is Peter Isaac. He came to Kurnool and I asked him, sir, what is the use of learning about my previous birth? He was charging, in those days, I was telling about 2004. He was charging 3,000 rupees for just revealing our previous birth details.
No, was it Newton by?
Dr. Peter Newton. Sorry, sir. Dr. Peter Newton.
No. He is not a Christian. He is a Brahmin only. He is a disciple of Patri.
Subhash Patri. Exactly,
Yeah.
sir. Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
no, I know him. I met him.
Mm.
He was hypnotizing. I saw those sessions. I didn't go through myself, but I've seen others going through. He hypnotizes and makes them vomit out the previous life experiences. So, and then he'll give that CD to you and charge you 10,000 rupees. So, that a lot of people went and got it done. It's
What is
correct.
the use of knowing, sir?
No, use is there to some extent to some people. Otherwise, nobody will go there. See, the 3-4 uses are there. One is situations are there. How it all started was that, there was one very strange event reported in Deccan Chronicle. One person came from Kolkata, went to the zoo, Nehru Zoological Park. Then he told that tiger there, I think white tiger or which one tiger, he is his classmate or friend in last life. So he wants to meet the tiger. So he went close to the tiger. He was trying to touch it and all that. So the zoo people arrested him and took him to police. So the police took him to this man or another man like this. And he analyzed his brain and found, yes, that is correct. His friend died and born as tiger. So this came in Deccan Chronicle. I was shocked. Then I went and met this fellow. So I asked him certain questions to tally the statements in Bhagawadgita. Because my mother was telling me, don't remove my eyes if I die. So why should? Because my mother is very knowledgeable. She is highly evolved. She was one of my gurus. In fact, she was the first guru and last. So I saw one slokam in the 15th chapter in the Bhagavad Gita. Mamayvamsho jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana manasashthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati shariram yada avapnoti yajja apyutkrayamati isvaraha grihitva etani samyati vayugandhani vashya. It says that my own amsha, jivatma, acquires a body after leaving the previous body. Shariram yada avapnoti yajja apyutkrayamati isvaraha Grahitva etani samyati. Srotram, Chakshu, Sparshanam, Charasanam, Ghranam. The 5 Indriyas and the mind. So these are the part of the Manomaya Kosha and Vijnanamaya Kosha. And so these things are taken out and gone to the next life. And another, I had one contact with one palmist. So he told that these lines will be formed after the jiva enters the fetus of a pregnant woman. Not before. There are no lines before that. So these lines therefore indicate the karma of the jiva. So when the fellow is born, whatever pattern is there in the hands, it tallies with the time of birth, place of birth, and location of the birth as per the horoscope. So that is the secret behind the fact that the palm tallies with the horoscope. Horoscope is the angular position of the planets at the time of birth, at that location. So I wanted to ask him, Newton, whether this is true. He said, yes, this is true. So he tallied with the Gita. He's a Buddhist. These are all Buddhist. Patri, all these pyramid people are all Buddhists. So they have these meditation techniques which are taking them into subconscious mind. And they're bringing out the old memories. So which are brought out in speech in your own mouth when you are under hypnotic spell, hypnosis. So this is called past life regression therapy. Because the reason why it benefits some people is, you might have heard this proverb in Telugu. Chesina bhavam chepte potundi, So when they speak out, what happened? The suffering which they have suffered in the previous life, death time, or others, like, somebody died due to drowning. So he suffered a lot of fear of water. So this life, that will be hydrophobia. He'll be fearing water. He'll not go anywhere near water. So these kind of phobias are there, and diseases come out of those phobias also. And in fact, suppressed emotions, even in the present life, or coming from previous life, or even coming from present life childhood, they burst out as aggressive emotional behavior. Like, the young boys, students, they are suppressed tremendously during the IIT coaching and other coaching institutes. Some of them commit suicides also. And those who have not committed suicide, but they have put up with it. So after some time, it will burst out in their behavior. They will become very, very aggressive, if not violent. And some of them committed suicide. Some of them who don't commit suicide, they will demonstrate such anomalous behaviors. I'm giving you examples of how suppressed emotions come out, burst out some other time. So now these patients who go there to Newton, they will be suppressing their past life emotions, and he is giving an outlet to bring them out in hypnotic state. So that way it helps them. They'll overcome those problems. Okay.
Prabhu, I have a small doubt on this. The way you said that your mother said not to give the eyes, and that definitely there's a lot of inner meaning in it. So in this today's world, wherein the organ donation is becoming very common, or being forced, in fact, is it good or how is it?
Oh, it is not good. As per the Shastras, see, the people who talk all these things in the modern time, they have no idea of the Shastras. See, what is happening is what you see, what you know, what you believe to be real is only a small part of the total reality. So the whole problem in this world is everybody believes what he or she knows to be or believes to be true. Like if you take, say, Christians, they think Jesus is real. But all the others, ex-Christians and Hindus and all, and many evidence are there that Jesus is not real. But the believers believe he is real. And accordingly, his worldview will be kept. So, when you know more that this is a fake narrative created, like, communists. A lot of communists think Marx is the greatest person. And the right-wing people think the opposite. Marx is the worst person. And there are people who worship Ravana. There are temples for Ravana. So now these things are all very perception-based. So what we do in this case, because what our Shastras say, Pramanas, if you see something, you infer something, you believe something to that extent. But there are subjects which are beyond all this. Like what happens after death, whether rebirth is there or not, whether God is there or not. So these things are beyond the Prachaksha and Anumana Pramana. So we have to depend upon Shastra, Shruti Pramana. That is why it is called Shabda Pramana, Apta Vakya. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavasthito. They are told clearly in the 16th chapter. You shall adopt, follow the Shastra for all your actions and for all your non-actions also. What should not be done and what should be done. You shall do by the Shastra because you really don't know the entire thing. It's not possible. So when we go by the Shastras, this is the picture it emerges. So by damaging the organs, either the eyes or any other, you are damaging the Sukshma Sarira, which is going into the next life. So quite possibly in the next life, there will be damage. That's why my mother prohibited that. And that's why I asked Newton and he confirmed that. And I quoted the 15th chapter Gita Sloka in support of that.
Right.
Because it carries the senses and mind.
Thank you. This is a very important thing in today's life that we go through this process and do not understand the fundamentals. And the next birth is resultant of this, whatever we do now. So removing the eyes, I understand that the next birth the soul enters is going to be impaired with the eyes.
Possibility, because we don't know.
We don't know, but
Therefore, we have to
possibility.
depend on Shastra, Shabda
Right.
Praman.
That's the belief. I mean,
Not belief. We have no choice, but to depend on what the Shastra says.
right.
Not a belief as such. Belief is
Yeah.
blind belief
Yeah.
without any dependence on anything. So in our culture, there is no blind belief concept. It
Right.
is Shastra Pramana or Shabda Pramana or
Hmm.
Prachaksha Pramana or Anumana Pramana.
Even my saying belief is belief in the Shastra.
No, well, that is not the correct word. It's not belief. It is dependence or reliance on Shastra.
Okay, reliance. Okay.
Belief means blindly believing something. Here, I'm not blindly believing anything. I'm relying on the Shastra, whatever Shastra, because the whole subject is beyond me. I have to believe, I have to rely. Believe is a crude word. Rely, depend.
Right.
I have to depend on the Shastra.
Shastra
And
Pramana.
even Shastra Pramana, because all these other religions, you can say they really don't have any Shastras. They have only one book, and that book is mostly concocted, and very little of it is having validity of ethics, except ethics. All other things are not acceptable, not provable. They can be proved to be false. And they are therefore believing it blind. If they don't believe, they cannot exist. Without belief, there is no Christianity. Before belief, there are no other religions. So they have to be in our culture, Sanatana Dharma. There is no need for belief. So you have to depend on, like you are depending on a doctor. When you go to the doctor, doctor says, no, you have this problem, so and so problem. You have diabetes, let us say. Now, how do you know whether really you have diabetes or not? You have no other way. You have to believe it. Believe is a crude word. Rely on him. So, because you know that he is not going to cheat you, he is not, he's not going to tell you lies, and if you trust him. So, in the case of Shastra, the Shastra has to be trusted. Apta Vakya, that's why, because Apta, it is your well-wisher. Shabda Pramana, Apta Vakya, Shruti is your well-wisher. So, you rely on it. Otherwise, you will not be able to explain anything. Like, small baby has to rely on the parents.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, Sarla garu.
Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Guruji. I just wanted to share that it is mentioned in even Garuda Purana that organ donation, even Brahmasri Samavedam Shanmukha Sharma Guruji quoted that our culture is against organ donation. I just wanted to share this. Sri Gurubhyo.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, I think if there are no more questions, we can thank Prabhu Garu for again one more excellent lecture. And as Siddhar Pattarji says that maybe we'll have one more session of just like yoga on Bhagavad Gita. Thank you, Prabhu Babu Garu.
Okay.